Hey guys, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me again. So today I will be helping you navigate life after studying medicine in Russia. Anyways, today's topic is navigating life after studying medicine and surgery in Russia. I graduated from Russia. I know that it can be very confusing after graduation. You don't know what to do. Do you want to go back to your country? Do you want to stay back in Russia? Or do you want to go to another country from Russia? One of the reasons why people don't want to stay in Russia is because of the language barrier, or they feel like, oh, I cannot really relate to their laws, so I want to leave and all of that. But some people also want to stay. Anyways, whether you want to stay or you want to leave, either of that, you have to consider a lot of things. As a medical student who just graduated, right, you have to consider money. So let's say you want to go to another country from Russia, or let's say you want to write a medical licensing exam after graduating. Let's say you want to write USMLE, or you want to write AMC, or you want to write MCCQE, or you want to go to Germany. Like, you want to go to another country from Russia, USA, UK, Germany, Australia, any country at all. You have to consider money. So do you have money, right? If you have money to write any of these medical exams, okay, let me take USMLE for example. You and I know that this exam is very expensive. So let's say you want to write USMLE, right? Do you have money to write this exam? If you have money to write this exam, then I would recommend that you just give yourself 1 year, just stay in Russia, write all the exams, then you look for a way to go to the US. Another way of getting this money is maybe your parents. If your parents have money, they can sponsor you. Another way is maybe giving yourself 1 year to just work in Russia. As you're working, then you're saving. As you're working, you're saving, and then you're preparing for the exam. Before you know it, you write the exam and you pass, and then you start looking for how to, go to the US from there. Yeah. Now, this is for people that decide to stay in Russia, right, before they can go to the next country of their destination. But let's say you are from maybe Nigeria, and you and I know that Nigerians are not paid well. Nigerian doctors are not paid well. So if you decide to come back to Nigeria to maybe stay in Nigeria and prepare for the USMLE exam, bear in mind that whatever money you get from the house job or housemanship, it's not going to be enough. But if your parents are buoyant, or you have a rich family that can support your dreams, why not? You can come to Nigeria, write the medical licensing exam of Nigeria, start your internship, and then you can prepare for a USMLE exam. Afterwards, you apply for residency match application, and then you match by God's grace, then you go to the US. But if you are from maybe South Africa, I think doctors in South Africa earn better. So let's say you go to South Africa and then you write the South African medical exam, you pass it, then you start working. I believe that you can save up money to be able to write the USMLE or the MCCQE, anyone you want. I believe that you have enough money to write this exam, and then you can move to US afterwards. Yeah. And one thing is, let's say you decide to stay back in Russia, you have to try and be doing something medical related, and that is where ordinatura comes in, right? So your option is you want to stay in Russia. If you are staying in Russia and you know within yourself that you want to practice medicine, right, you have to try and be doing something medically related. So you have to try and get into ordinatura. But the bad thing is that ordinatura in Russia is not free. You have to pay tuition fee in order to do ordinatura in Russia. Ordinatura is medical residency, for those that don't know. It's medical residency. It can be in surgery, it can be in pulmonology, it can be in internal medicine. It depends on your choice, anyone you want to do. Yeah, so this ordinatura is like coming to pay another tuition fee for 2 years. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They'll be like, instead of paying for this, why not go elsewhere? Why not go back to my country and all of that? Yeah. So if you have money to pay for ordinatura, you can pay and do it. Honestly, I recommend it, especially if you are in Moscow. If you are doing it in Moscow, I recommend it because it's good. The training is good. Yeah, so if you have money to pay, you can pay and do the ordinatura. Or if you can get a scholarship for the ordinatura, apply for the education in Russia, get the scholarship, get the scholarship, then start the ordinatura. Yeah, so after the ordinatura for 2 years, you can now save money and start reading for maybe USMLE or AMC, anyone you choose to write. You can now start reading for them. Then afterwards, you can now move to the country of your choice, US, for example. Yeah. Another option is, let's say you don't want to write any medical licensing exam, you don't want to go to another country, you don't want to go to your country either, but you can stay in Russia. Russia is a good place, honestly. Like, the people are nice, Russians are friendly. One thing I like about Russians is that if they don't like you, they will tell you. There's nothing about beating about the bush or being your enemy behind you. No. If they don't like you, they will tell you. They are not hiding anything. And if they like you, they also tell you, like, you will know. So Russians are very blunt. They are very straight to the point. That's why I like them. So Russia is actually a cool place. You can just do the ordinatura, in Russia. After the ordinatura, you can start working as a doctor. The pay is not that bad when you start working as a doctor. Yeah, it's not going to be as big as US pay or Germany pay or UK pay or Canada pay, but the pay is also okay. It just descends for you to survive and all of that. But then if you are choosing to stay back in Russia, you have to put a lot of things into consideration, like family, like getting married. Like, do you want to train your children in Russia? Do you want them to learn Russian as they are growing instead of English? All these things, you have to also put them into consideration before you make this kind of choice. Yeah. So I believe that I have actually touched, a lot of area. Yeah. The thing about doing ordinatura in Russia is that just going to be streamlined to a particular specialty. Let's say you are doing ordinatura in cardiology, you're only going to know cardiology stuff. Let's say you want to do ordinatura in anesthesiology, you're only going to know anesthesiology stuff. So you wouldn't know anything about O&G, pediatrics, and all of that. So when people think about, doing ordinatura in Russia, they'll be like, I'm only going to know cardiology, or I'm only going to know anesthesiology, and I don't even know the basic of medicine. I don't even know the basic in O&G, obstetrics and gynecology. I don't even know the basics in pediatrics. That's why when people think of all this, they'll be like, okay, let me just go back to Zambia or Zimbabwe or South Africa or Nigeria or Ghana. Let me just go back to Africa and just do the internship. For 1 year or 2 years, depending on the country. Then after the 2 years or after the 1 year, I still want to come to Russia, I can now apply for ordinatura in Russia, come and do the ordinatura and become a specialist. Yeah. So that is for people that their end goal is just to stay in Russia. Yeah. But one thing about coming back to maybe your country is that you still have to write your country's exam. For example, Nigeria, now you have to write the medical licensing of Nigerian exam. For Ghana, you have to write the Ghanaian own. Zimbabwe, you have to write. So all these exams, you also need to put that into consideration. Like, I know people that have been writing this exam for like 5 years, they've not passed. 6 years, they've not passed. 2 years, they've not passed. 1 year, they've not passed. So you have to put it into consideration. I might come and not pass this exam at once. Then what will happen to me? What will happen to my life? So it's better to always have 2 options, or even more than 2 options when you are doing your career path in medicine. Like, if I don't pass the Nigerian exam once, I will just come back to Russia and do whatever I need to do You know, like always have a plan B, something like that, in case this one doesn't work, another one will work. When it comes to this medical career navigation, trust me, you wouldn't want to be disappointed. You wouldn't want to feel lost. Yeah. Some people write the exam once and they pass. But what if you write it and you don't pass? What now happens? Do you have the luxury of time to wait for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years till you pass? Momo. Me, I don't have that patience. God, I don't. God help me, I cannot. So yeah, you have to pray to God to pass if you really want to come back and do the exams, and then do your house job or housemanship in order to do this thing. Get all the basics, the clinical basics in pediatrics, in surgery, in internal medicine, in O&G. But honestly, I don't know if it's that much important, because at the end of the day, you're still just going to be a specialist in one thing, maybe a specialist in cardiology or a specialist in surgery. So why not just focus on that? But anyways, this knowing things is not bad. The ball is in your court. Choose. Just choose. Do you want to stay in Russia? If you stay in Russia, do you want to go to another country afterwards? Do you have the money to write medical licensing exam to go to other countries? Or if I come back to my country, can I make money enough to go to other countries? Or if I come back to my country, can I just work and be happy in my country and just stay back in my country? Another option is not even practicing medicine at all. You can decide that, oh, I don't want to be in clinical practice. I just want to be a digital health worker. I want to be in digital health informatics. I want to be involved in medical device. There are people that do just medical devices, like all this your pulse oximeter, BP machine, all these CT scan, PET scan, ultrasonography, and all of those things. It's people that make all these equipment. It's people, it's medical doctors that make them, just that they decided that they are not going to be practicing. So they decided to just venture into devices. Yeah, so you can just be a medical device maker or something like that. Or you can just be a digital health, or you can just be a health administrative worker. You know, everybody must not practice this medicine. No. Everybody must not practice this medicine. After the 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, depending on how long it took you to become a medical doctor, you can decide that, oh no, clinical practice is not for me, let me go elsewhere. So yeah, the ball is in your court. So now that I have helped you, look at money, your country, another country, Russia, blah blah blah, all these things, I do hope that you will get clarity to actually make a choice, and I do hope that you will be happy with whatever choice you have made. If you have questions, please ask in the comment section below. Thank you. Like this video, subscribe, send this video to your friends. Yeah, thank you, and God bless.